So just pulled up here to DNW. We're gonna take this bow in. I want to show you guys what like a frayed string looks like and why. Like if your string looks like this, it is like way in dire need of being replaced. We're gonna have these guys go through it, make sure the bow is completely set up, show you guys the whole setup process of it, and I'm actually gonna tweak some stuff and put different attachments on it this time and just make sure it's ready to go, especially with season coming up this weekend. Like I said, probably should have already done this a while back, but it's kind of been crazy with everything. And you're gonna have to forgive me time of this video because my mouth is like I'm doing a lisp thing because the way my stuff's going on from that accident. So anyways, we're here, we're gonna go in, we're gonna meet the team, have them set up the bow, look at it, and then show you what all's going on. Here we go. Take a look at this real quick so I can show you guys what I'm talking about on this one before we go in. Alright, so sorry my bow case is a mess here. I got my stabilizers taken off because we're going to redo the setup on it, but I don't know if you can see, this is where the D-loop broke. So this is probably one of the most crucial parts of your bow. This is what broke and then ripped my whole mouth out, everything like that. Thank God, you know, it wasn't worse. I'm healing up good, look good, still as ugly as ever, but my wife says I'm pretty. But anyways, this string though, if you look at it, this is another thing that you really got to pay attention to. If you have string fray, I don't know if you can zoom up here, but if you have string fray like this is after waxing this non-stop. So I shoot a lot with how much hunting we do and everything like that, and just fun shooting. But once you start getting fray like that, you really need to get into, this is actually probably before it gets this bad, you need to make sure you take it in. And one of the ideal rules of thumbs that we try to go off of is take your bow in at least once a year minimum before season, preferably in like January or February at the end of your season, depending upon what state you're in. But take it in, drop it off with them, give them time to be able to actually check it out during the off season. Make sure your bow's good to go. Another thing with this one is, they need to be able to check, make sure everything's still tight. And that's the thing, taking it to your pro shop, is if it's a pro shop that actually cares about what they do, like DNW, they will go over everything and make sure that you are safe. Because these are very dangerous if you end up having issues. There's a lot of pressure on this, stuff can break. And I've had kind of a little bit of everything happen. I think we got on film on a video coming up from last year of a crossbow blowing up on us with the limbs and everything like that. And but it's just something you want to take it to your pro shop. But anyways, let's get in here and let them get it all set up. And all right guys, we're back here behind the archery counter. We're gonna have them check this out and maybe give you a little more details of what to actually look for on your bow. But first I want to introduce the man here, Will, and he's been absolutely amazing to work with. And this is the guy who has all the knowledge about the bows, everything like that.
Maybe not as much as you play it up.
Oh, I'm serious. Any questions I've ever had, he's been so quick to answer and help out, and been generous to be able to be there with us. But once you inform them of what we're actually looking for to be able to maintenance, to make sure the bows are ready every year.
Well, first thing, like when somebody brings a bow in here, first thing we're going to check, we like to check the overall condition of the stringing cables. Like these in this particular instance, these are a little worn. So it's time for some new strings. So we've got some here. We're going to get them fixed up for Storm here. But the first thing, we're just going to look if we see a ton of fuzzies, if we see a ton of stretch issues or serving separations or anything there. That's going to be like a first clue or first step to where we know, hey, we probably need to get some strings on this bow. This one, another thing there is just time in general. It's been a couple years since he's had strings replaced on this bow, so that kind of gives us a good idea of knowing, hey, better to put some on there now to where you don't have to worry about it during the season. It just helps eliminate that and give you a better peace of mind while you're hunting. But we've got some strings here for this. We'll throw them on here, get this thing tuned up, and see what we can do.
Yeah, and another thing that I want to say is, when we were shooting all these different bows, now we reshot everything this year to try to figure out what company we wanted to go with, and there's so many good bow companies out there now. Everyone has closed the margins between the brands and stuff like that. You know, Matthews, Bowtech, Hoyt, everyone. But for us personally, when I was coming up here to figure out what I was going to shoot, and I have a mindset on a complete different brand, but one of the bows that Will was actually like, here, go shoot this bow. And I went through so many different variables before I bought this bow, and I bought this a couple years ago, but he handed it to me, and I couldn't shake the feeling of how dead it was in the hand, everything like that. And now, fast forward, 2 or 3 years, they have the technology. Even I didn't think it could go any, better, but they're starting to even get better and better as far as noise cancellation, vibration, dead in the hand, everything like that. And it's amazing how much actually goes into these. We think just because, it's a bow, that it's simple. It just has the cams, the riser, the limbs, everything like that. But there's so much more put into these that he could even talk about later throughout the videos and as you watch the stuff. But that's something that has blown me away, that I wasn't even set on stuff, and then he knew from his knowledge to be able to just here, this is a good one that would probably fit what you're looking for. And that's one that I landed on. This is kind of the reason why, and we reshot it again this year thinking we might switch, but we couldn't shake the feeling to be able to stick with the prime bows and everything. So
another great thing about these bows, and this is what we've got to put on here for Storm's bow. When you buy a prime, any of their prime, their flagship models, you get free string and cables every 2 years from the company. So we're putting prime strings on this bow. Storm he doesn't have to buy string cables every 2 years. He gets them from Prime there. That's a big selling feature for Prime, and that's any of their flagship model bows. Anybody, that's the option to them. They start that from the date that you register the bow after you purchase it. So from that point on, and then 2 years later, contact your local bow shop, let them know, hey, I'm ready for my new Prime strings, and then they'll contact Prime, get everything going, and then you'll get some strings put on the bow.
Yeah, and I would say, and last thing I'm going to say this, and then we'll get to work here so you guys can see the process, but don't wait 2 years before you bring your bow in. At least bring it in, at least every year?
I'd say every year before season. It's always a good idea to bring it in, let your local bow shop look at it, assess the situation, assess the shape that the bow's in. There's times where people will shoot a bow where it needs strings replaced more than 2 years, like faster than every 2 years that Prime would give you strings.
Yeah.
So if you shoot it an absolute ton, or if you put it through, just sure enough, put it through the ringer, then hey, probably a good idea to bring it in, let your local bow shop look at it, assess the situation, see what or if anything needs to be fixed or redone or D-loop replaced, anything like that. That way you can go into the season ready for success.
Now, what's the flag before we get started on this? This is the Nexus 2.
Yep.
Which is 32 inches. Is how that was.
32 inches axle to axle.
Okay.
Yep.
So the new flagship bow that they brought out with all the new technology.
The
and
newest
stuff
things that they have out now, they have the Prime Form, the Form series. Right now they've got a 34-inch bow and a 30-inch axle to axle bow in the Form series. And they also have the RVX Plus 32 and 34.
Okay. And they even have, man, that's something that Prime, this is the last thing I'll say. I keep saying that over and over. But one thing about Prime, and this was a big part of who we went with because we want it to be affordable for people. Prime has not only those two, the RVX, which is what Dylan has this year, and the Form, which is an amazing, there's so much stuff packed into that bow, but they actually have the Ronin too, which is an amazing price point bow. But it's honestly, and this is coming from me, and you might be able to second this, the Ronin has a lot of the technology that the flagship bows 2 years ago had, and honestly, It's just smooth. I couldn't really tell much of a difference between some of the flagship bows that we shot compared to that one.
Exactly. One of the big advantages to that particular bow there, the limbs, the cams on it are the same limbs and cams as what's on their current flagship model bows. The only difference is the riser. The riser's a little different, not quite so, this aesthetics aren't quite so appealing maybe. They saved a little time by not having to mill it out quite as much.
Yeah.
So
which is
by
great
saving time in a CNC
machine
machine saves saves you, the customer, money. So,
Yep. All right, well, let's get
Yep.
started.
Sounds good. Well, I can send it to you in an email or something. Running through this, hopefully.
Man, that is crazy. That's something else, is the pressure on these bows is insane if something does happen. Obviously my mouth is a testament to that. But see, there's a lot of people that can do this at their house, that they bought the right equipment and everything like that, but man, having somebody that actually knows what they're doing, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong, especially with people buying these cheap, bow presses and all these different things with so much pressure of going, like, even some of them off of like I'm seeing a lot of people get stuff off of Temu and everything like that, and the problem is the quality of those things. It's uncertain on what it is. So bringing it to your bow shop is going to be a whole lot safer with someone who has the knowledge and the actual tools and equipment that isn't going to fail in the middle of it.
These bows have a little more going on. These particular ones have the 7-piece string cable sets. So there's a little bit more going on with all the strings and everything else, but
What's that due to the way it's all set up with the quad cam and stuff on this particular model?
Yep. Well, that's also one of the things that really stood out for prime shooters that they absolutely loved and still do. Do that.
It's a time lapse. Just got a message. We got someone just showed up here to surprise us, and he hasn't been around for a while for some reason. Mr. DNR, do not resuscitate.
Do not resuscitate.
We talked about one of our shirts were coded out for the season, and that was one of the things that we were throwing around. So, but you just get off work?
Mm-hmm. Changed a 700-pound motor today.
700 pounds, lightweight. He's the one who held me in his arms as my teeth were falling out of my head.
Yeah, I was cradling him like a little baby.
I was like, Mommy!
Making sure he's okay.
I said, Dylan, what does it look like? What does it look like? All right. You gonna have time to hunt this year?
I'm gonna do what I can. Put it that way.
Now, are these gas strings they send you?
No, these are just their factory strings, which are, like we said, really
Pretty
good
good
quality though. Actually, looks good.
Take.
Okay, grab some string wraps. Those up.
So how important is like string wax and stuff like that on? That's like the life of the string, or is it that
String
important?
wax definitely, it's kind of important, but it's not the end all. Yes, string wax is pretty important because it's going to help keep your strings from fraying, which fraying is damage to the individual fibers on the string. So it kind of helps give them a little bit of moisture, moisturizes them, keeps them from drying out, and when they dry out they can kind of crack, kind of have some issues there.
So it's just more of a preventative thing to be able to make
It's
sure
a
that
preventative, yep. What it actually does there, it's going to give, like I said, it's going to give them a drink of water, let them kind of moisturize them a little bit, help keep them from fraying quite so bad, and it's preventative as much as anything. And these being new strings, we want to make sure that they are moisturized, give them a little longer life, give them a good life. Now when you're waxing the string, you only want to wax the part that doesn't have serving over it, which is going to be just the where, in this case, like on the string here, just the parts that have the twist. We don't want to put anything over the servings.
Okay, so the serving is this black that's reinforced around the actual string itself.
That's exactly what it is. It's a reinforcement.
So we're wanting to hit everything here that's exposed.
We want to hit everything that's exposed. Yep, string material that's exposed, that's not served.
Now, is there anything that can happen if you accidentally get some on the serving or anything, or is it just something you just really don't want to do?
It's just something you really, one, you're kind of wasting it. Two, when you put it on that, like if you put it around here, that's just going to gum up everything in here. It's not that's going to slow things down.
Mechanics and everything like that's going to start.
It's going to slow it down a little bit. It's going to cause some, can cause some issues there with it getting gummed up. And now what we like to do, at least here anyways, once we put the strings on, we really like to let them set and settle a little bit. That way everything kind of pulls into its own. But we're going to set the timing on it really fast. We're going to make sure that the cams are timed, that everything is in sync together. That way when these roll over, they're hitting at the same time. That way you've got both cams working together instead of one working against the other. Our top is hitting. Our bottom is not quite there yet. So
now when you're saying that, you're talking about the stops here, right?
I'm talking about the stop right there. Yep.
Okay.
It's not quite hitting the string, so the top is a little bit ahead. We're going to make a slight adjustment here and get those where everything's working just the way it should.
That's something I didn't realize is how much goes into tuning these bows and making sure that everything is timed properly for arrow flight. So a lot of people order stuff offline, and there's so many different variables of getting the bow fitted for you, for your draw length, everything, the timing of it. And so if you're grabbing one offline and you're not taking it to your pro shop and you're not taking the time to make sure it's suited for you and properly fit and ready to go, that can actually turn out to be some pretty big issues whenever you're out there. And no one wants to have, no matter if it's a small animal or anything like that, the ethical part of it or whatever, making sure that your weapon is ready to go whenever you're out in the woods to make the ethical shot, and make sure that you're doing everything you can to put down the animal as humane as possible, but also so there's no injury or anything like that or issues. So
okay, top is hitting now, and the bottom is hitting at the exact same time, which is exactly what we want. All right, ready to move on to the next step. Okay, we're going to tie the D-loop on here.
now you've just been doing it for so long that you just eyeball it first and then
And
after,
pretty much, kind of. There can be a little more to it than that, but
And I've noticed all the ones you've tied on for me, it's like literally perfection right off the bat, just about, and very little movement and stuff over the years.
okay, these are the arrows you're shooting here.
Yes, that's the one that's been
Okay.
with milky way.
Okay, we're gonna pull it out of the press here, get our knock height set the way we want it to be, the way it needs to be. tie right there. To be very, very close. Looks good there. Looks good there. All right, we're gonna tie it in place here, and then if we have to make any adjustments, we're gonna let our paper testing let us know which direction we need to move, if any. But I bet it's gonna be pretty close. We're gonna tie a knock point on down below it here.
What's a knock point? What's that?
What this is, well, it's going to be a knot basically down below the knock here, and
just to hold it in place.
It's going to help hold it in place. It's going to help keep anything from moving when we go to tighten everything up. It also serves a good purpose of if for some reason you end up having to replace your D-loop like you probably should have done before shooting it before.
Yeah. I'm an example.
If we have to do that, then it gives us basically it makes it to where we can put this thing back in the same spot, and it's not going to change how this bow's shot for you.
Wow. Okay. Now, is the D-loop string a certain kind of string, or is it just like paracord? Or is it
this that we
quality,
use is a certain type of string. We use BCY materials for pretty much everything. I mean, we've had great luck out of pretty much everything BCY. So this is BCY number 24. Is what they call this cord here. It works great for D-loops. That's what it was primarily designed for, I believe. BCY is one of the gold standards in the industry for string material, as well as accessories to, or I say accessories, as servings, D-loop material. We're going to flare the end on this pretty good. That way when we burn this down, we have a good end. Now, flame always goes up, so we try to make it to where we're not going to burn anything that doesn't need burned. And I don't like it to catch fire, because when it catches fire, it gets brittle. So we try to melt it and not burn it, which that can be easier said than done sometimes. But now we're going to use some D-loop pliers here.
Is that just like really anchoring it in there and stretching
Yes.
it out properly?
What these do a good job of, they fit in each groove there, and then when you pull that, that's going to really anchor that down, cinch it in. It's going to keep this thing from slipping. It's going to help keep it from moving. It really just locks it down.
Yeah, without using, I mean, you can do, I've heard of people doing it without it, but having that is one of the crucial tools to make sure that,
Yes,
you know, it is not going to fall apart on you while you're shooting.
it can be done without it. Like if you're out in the field or something and you happen to have to replace a D-loop or have an issue in any way, shape, or form there, just a regular pair of pliers or something to really pull that and lock it down. But we're in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
You're in a pro shop, so we're going to use the proper tools.
Yeah.
So we've got that thrown on. Now we're going to throw this thing on a draw board. Make sure that everything is set the way we want it, and then we'll start shooting the bow.
Perfect. Alright, so when I'm doing this, I'm just putting it straight through the middle there.
Yep, just put it straight through the middle, just shoot. We're, I don't know, you'd say we're about 6 foot back or so.
This is just paper tuning it to try to check the arrow flight to make sure.
Yes, this is giving us basically like a snapshot of how the arrow's flying in the air at that particular junction. We're far enough back where we are going to be able to really get a good read, but we're not too close to where our fletchings start to take over and really steer and control. So right in here is kind of the sweet spot for it. Could be.
DSD.
First one is the best one.
I like when they make fun of me. Balances. Maybe not. Maybe it's just me. Probably just me.
Relax your fingers. Relax your fingers. All right, we're gonna set peep sight, kiss your button, get all that in the right spot.
You're all back?
Yep, going to drop back. Okay. Kisser and peep should be, your kisser and nose button should be just about perfect. If the peep needs to be moved up or down, anything there. Everything looks good?
Yeah.
Perfect. We want great, not good.
Yep, that is crystal. Everything feels perfect.
Like I said, we want great, not good.
God, I wish I would have had this in Colorado.
All right, ease it down for me. Now, we want you to ease it down, not shoot. That way we don't move the peep in the shot, just in case. Just in case. All right, we'll tie it all in. Come back, do some shooting. We know where everything should halfway be for him here. So we're gonna base all this around the old string to get a good starting spot. That'll be real.
Save this one in the back.
That's up really nice.
Every time you zoom on the phone, you can do pretty good. It's good. You can't really fuzzy over.
So you're pretty much on how you were before.
Yeah, I'm
Very, very close.
actually gonna cheat a little bit to the right so I don't hit my arrow. Felt really good.
I'm not gonna say it.
No, you're not. Not after doing all this.
I think that's pretty good.
Yes.
All right, guys, we are closing out the video for DNW and them being able to fix us up. We got the bow dialed in, amazing. Even came and shot it out here at our range here at the headquarters at HQ, and was able to dial it in all the way to, I think, about 60 yards. Was it about 60 yards?
Yeah.
So, and we can even go even further than that, but we got the sight tape dialed in, everything like that. So really, that bow's ready to go elk hunting next year. But the coolest thing is, we're gonna take that this week, Lord willing, and I'm gonna be able to get on one of the bucks that's been coming into the new property that we just got access to a little bit later season this year. So hopefully we'll have a video for that by the end of this week or next week and have a buck down. So we'll see what's going on. Now I heard real quick before we close out with the DNW stuff, I heard you're going. Where are you going?
Yeah, we're running up to Ravenden to a family farm. It's about 1,700 acres. So
That's awesome.
be
That's
pretty
exciting.
fun.
Are you guys going gun hunting or what are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Modern gun opening day.
That's gonna be okay. So Dave, a little history backstory with Lance, and I can let you chime in with it, but I'll just summarize a little bit. But this guy here has grown up in the outdoors, but his biggest thing is just being out in nature. And he actually has a niche. His desire was to be able to take and be a videographer and stuff like that of nature, everything like that. But the market and the industry with it's hard to sell film with it. So this is like a dream come true for him. It's also, I had the same likewise like goals as I wanted to do the same stuff. And so being able to do this is amazing. And we would not be able to do any of this without God, our family, and honestly, as of right now, starting up DNW has been able to, I mean, they've been able to pour into us, help us out with our filming stuff, give us advice on a lot of the stuff. As you can see in this video, setting us up with state-of-the-art equipment, with the prime bows. I mean, we got everything. I just now picked up, we're testing out some new broadheads, and I'm excited for some film. Hopefully, I've never shot anything with these broadheads, but I'm super excited. On your hunting stuff, who's going with you? You got, is just all your family's going, or what's going on?
Me and my grandpa are going to one location. We got my dad and some of the other guys, like my uncle and stuff, going out there too. So all the guys.
That's cool. That's something that we're trying to be like. That's our heart's desire when we were praying, looking for the name, looking for what we're doing, trying to figure out if we wanted to do this. Was the hook generation. So getting the generation hooked, having the generations, the older generation, his grandpa, his dad, his brothers, everything like that, and then all the family members just coming out, joining together, being in the outdoors, enjoying what God's nature is, being stewards of it, and just having fun. And that's really what it is. So check out Dylan just now released the new video that he just got, broken the new prime bow that he got this year for elk season. Broke it in with an awesome hunt. Check out that video, which I think is going to be one of these corners here. I don't know which corner.
Somewhere.
But it's going to be linked. Check it out in the link. Like, subscribe, follow us on our journey. And if you guys are in the Jonesboro area or the Northeast Arkansas area, swing by DNW. They also have, it's DNW Outdoors. He'll put in the link in the description, the website for DNW. They have an amazing online store throughout the website. It's not just archery. I mean, it's clothes, it's apparel,
clothes, guns, coals.
And it's not just hunting clothes. Like, it's like they have an amazing female line of just awesome wear, just real stylish stuff. They have awesome wear for men, everything like that. I mean, they got guns.
Carry fur traps.
Yeah, I think it's the largest. Gun store or gunsmith gun store, however you say that, in Northeast Arkansas. So check it out, DNW Outdoors. Look at the website, and want to do a special shout out. Thank you guys so much for working with us, setting up the bow, setting us up, supplying all of our needs to be able to get it going. And helping us pick out the right stuff, and just giving us, even honestly, the most important thing, all that stuff's great, but the information you guys poured into us to be able to help us on this journey and being able to help out some of our viewers. We already have sent like a few people up there to get set up and sized for a bow, which I'm sure we'll have a video on that. Dylan's supposed to be going up, I think tomorrow, to size in another guy on a bow or whatever with it. So, I mean, it's something extraordinary, special deals, all kinds of stuff. Will and Jared and Ben up there have done an amazing job of making sure the archery and Carter, but they've really, and many more, honestly, I can't remember everybody that's up there. But that's just on the archery counter side. They have done an amazing job of getting people set up for what they need. But anyways, all right, well, God bless, stay hooked, and we'll hopefully have a video out the end of this week of me shooting a big buck with this bow that we have been able to do this video on, of them fixing up, everything like that. Whole new setup this year, 2025. All right, God bless.